Imagine a year where a movie titled The Curse of the Cat People, a sequel to a movie about cat people, has literally nothing to do with cats.
Why, what year is that, Zachary? No, I'm not.
The year is 1944.
Hello, and welcome to Oldie But a Goodie. I'm here at a lovely cafe. Yes, it's 1944. I'm going to talk about Curse of the Cat People with Zach, but I'm going to stop in for a bit of a sandwich. I'm at a cafe, a lovely cafe. The orphan's over there running around. Hey, orphan, what do you think we're going to get up to today?
It's a mystery. It's a mystery.
Very smart orphan. Let me have some more of my sandwich. Ow.
Oh, excuse me, is the seat taken?
No, lovely old man. It's not taken. Take the seat.
Well, I'm a lady, so I'm a little offended, but...
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. That was very, I didn't mean to assume your oldness.
Yes, quite. I'll sit here. As this cafe, you can hear it's quite busy right now. You can hear it very busy
Someone
right now.
dropped a plate.
Oh dear, that's no good. I have to sit here. Oh, I will drink my coffee at this lovely coffee shop that we're sitting at.
I've got a sandwich, you've got a coffee. What's your name, madam?
You might have heard of me. I'm Julia Dean. You see, I'm a bit of an actress. I starred in a bit of films that are coming out. Mostly, silent films, but I've recently forayed into live-action films.
Oh, well, some would say that silent films and live-action films were the same.
Well, sorry, sound films. The films with sound in them, a bit of a novelty.
Wait, hang on a second.
Yes?
You look very familiar.
Yes, yeah, well, I did say you might recognize me.
Wait, were you in the movie we're reviewing this week?
You're reviewing movies? Oh, Are you a bit of a movie buff yourself?
Do indeed movies. I love a good movie.
Some sort of film bro of sorts.
Oh, no, I'm a movie bro, madam. I'm a movie bro.
A cinema connoisseur, as it were. Oh, it's lovely to meet you, Oh, you must have seen my new film, then.
Yes, The Curse of the Cat People. You're in that one, right?
Yes, I am in that one. Oh, delightful. I played the mysterious old lady in the house.
Oh, no spoilers, madam. We're doing non-spoilers.
Oh, it's the non-spoiler section. Well, I better not spoil anything.
Better not spoil anything. Madam, I do have to ask you, why did they make that movie?
Money, I think, mostly. Look, sometimes you gotta pad your bottom line, and if something's popular, you just shill out some fucking swill that has nothing to do with the first fucking movie.
Oh my god, calm down, madam. The people are looking at them as paparazzi on the street on the prowl.
Fuck 'em, I'm old, I don't give a shit.
Alright, I've finished my sandwich. Off you pop. Off you pop. Unless you're gonna turn into my podcast co-host, off you pop.
Well, that's a bit rude, bit sudden. You said I could sit here.
Well...
How dare you? Don't you know who I am? I'm Julia... Oh, hey, Sandro. Ugh.
Zach, you're in the body of an old lady.
Ah, yeah.
That's new.
That's why I feel so, old.
No, that's just because you had work yesterday.
Or do I feel young? Because I, teleported back in time, So technically I'm, in the negatives.
What?
Or is it like a negative integer where I've, aged so far I've come back? I don't know.
What?
It's timey-wimey.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well.
How are you doing?
I just ate a sandwich. The intro to this episode was quite chill. Nothing really happened. Much like the movie we're reviewing today. Nothing really happened. I just kind of ate a sandwich and talked to an old lady.
You know what? That sounds more interesting than this stupid fucking movie.
I liked it. I thought it was okay.
It was perfectly fine. I'm just mad. I'm furious. I'm fuming.
Well, let's get into it. We're reviewing The Curse of the Cat People, which is a sequel to a movie called Cat People. Go back and listen to that episode if you want. It's a fun episode about a lady who turns into a cat and kills someone. Spoilers, I guess.
Yeah. Spoilers for this movie that no one should go and see.
I liked it. It's fine.
Yeah, but like, why would anybody go watch the? I mean, they could do exactly what we do: is go see the first one and then want to see the sequel. If you're interested in seeing the first one, which was at least interesting, go watch that one.
Yeah.
And then you can watch this one. Just warning: this movie could have quite easily been made without the first movie.
I think this movie quite easily could have been not made as well.
Correct.
I don't think this adds anything to society, but I enjoyed it, I guess.
It does not really add anything, and spoiler, it does not have anything to do with cat people.
I mean, it's got stuff to do with the characters of cat people, but that's it.
But yeah, that's my spoilery non-spoiler there. But yes, if you're interested in that whole, like, ha ha ha, cat people stuff, this movie will not.
No.
This movie does not do that.
Just do what we should do and watch the one from the 80s. We should do that. Will we? Probably not for another year. But
Yeah, but it'll be on a dumb Patreon episode where I'm gonna eat a sandwich in the intro because you did it in this one. And it'll be a good time.
yeah, it will be a good time. Look, this movie, though, all things aside, and by things I mean the fact that it's got nothing to do with the first film.
Yeah.
It wasn't as interesting as the first film, as you said, because the first film had fun lore and some weird fucking writing decisions, and it was very odd. In this movie, and you know, we are doing non-spoilers, but I'm just gonna put this out there. The majority of this movie is a kid talking to people, whether they be imaginary or not.
Yeah, well, the main character is the child, right?
Yeah, and I thought that she was great in the movie.
Yeah, she's good.
But I also thought that the movie was boring. Kinda. But also not boring? I don't know.
Well, I think it's boring because it follows a lot of tropes that we're used to now as, like, tropey things. Whereas back then, it wouldn't have been a trope, so this would have actually probably been an even better film.
Yes.
Because it has, like, it's even, like, got Christmas movie tropes. It feels like a lot like a Christmas movie because it features Christmas and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just a lighthearted sort of kids film sort of thing. And
Yeah.
I would say it's not bad. In fact, I enjoyed it more than quite a few movies we have done over the years.
I mean, I definitely enjoyed this more than Lassie.
Oh.
I think I preferred the original Cat People over this.
Wow.
Maybe.
I enjoyed Lassie way more than this movie.
Okay. I thought this was, not more interesting than Lassie, but more like, I was watching it more. I was paying more attention. With Lassie, I was like, blah.
I definitely 100% disagree. I was like, what? I might have been intent at this movie, but I was intently waiting for it to, pick up and talk about fucking cats. I am furious with this fucking movie, and I'm trying to be calm. I'm nice. It's a great little movie about a little girl and, her struggles and all that. But fuck this movie and its missed opportunity. This is, the biggest missed opportunity movie we have done in a while. And I hate missed opportunities. That's one of my, number one gripes with movies, is when they miss opportunities. And it really hurts me, because then, you can see people and they talk about the things they could have done that would have been so much better, and you go, God damn it, that would have been so much better.
Yep.
And it makes me mad, and it makes me hate the original, and I hate this stupid movie because it doesn't talk about cat people. All right.
It doesn't. It's called Curse of the Cat People, but one, no one's cursed, and two...
No one's cursed.
Two, there's no cat... Well, I mean, there is a cat person, but we'll get to that in spoilers, because that's more of a spoiler thing. Yeah, one of the actors was a cat person in the first movie.
I don't know.
It's cat people were they're not a point, because at the start of the movie there's a cat and kids are like, look at the cat, and then they go rat-tat-tat-tat at the cat.
Yep.
And then the cat runs off.
That's a spoiler, Sandro.
That's not a spoiler. It's in the first minute of the movie. And then that's the only cat in the whole film.
Yeah.
We don't see any more cats aside from one taxidermied cat, and that's not.
Infuriating. I have nothing more to say in the non-spoiler section other than I hate this movie for its missed opportunities. And the fact I was just like, just get wacky with it. What are you doing?
Yeah, they could have done more.
It doesn't even, it's only an hour long.
Yeah.
So it doesn't wear out its welcome.
No.
It has a nice, cute story, and it goes through it. And if it was by itself, if this was a standalone movie, it would have been fun. I would have been like, oh, this was alright. This was alright. The fact that it's a sequel to this other movie, at least it's not a drama. You know what? At least it's not a drama. I'll say that.
I was thinking that while I was like watching it. I was like, at least this is not a romantic drama, so Zach's probably going to be fine with it.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't like, it was fine. It was fine to watch. I was just sitting there waiting for it to, do stuff.
Waiting for anything to happen? Yeah.
Well, there was some things with it, and we'll get into it, but like, it had nothing to do with cat people, and that was what made me mad, because at least just take the cat people out of the title. I don't know. It's just, that was the whole point that we went for the first movie, was the cat people thing, and now it doesn't even have anything to do with cat people.
Well, that's all part of it, because this movie was originally called Amy and Her Friend, but the studio were like, nah, no one gives a fuck about Amy and her friend, call it Cat People.
Yeah, so... you could feel the fucking, the studio meddling. Fuck the studio. Fuck them.
But I'm also like, I'm confused as well, because I'm like, is this movie even meant to be a sequel originally? Because it was written by the same guy who wrote Cat People.
Yeah.
But like, surely this was written to be a different story.
Oh, no. This was absolutely meant to be a standalone movie where like all the stuff happened and they tweaked it so they could add the characters from the first movie.
Yeah.
But like, I guarantee that it was not meant to be a sequel, and then the studio was like, hey, make it a sequel so it gets more people in. And so they tweaked the story.
Yep.
And the original story had nothing to do with cat people, and it was just a cute movie about this girl with an imaginary friend. And then they changed it so it had to do with cat people, but it didn't really have anything to do with cat people, and it's dumb, and I hate it.
Yeah, it's like the movie was written by the guy who wrote the first movie and then had uncredited, maybe rewrites by a guy who was a producer, and he added in all this stuff from his childhood, like the Sleepy Hollow stuff, the tree stuff, where the film's set.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, you add stuff from your own childhood in the movie, sure, that was cool. Apparently as well, that scene with the cat at the start of the movie was a reshoot because the studio was like, there's not enough cats in our Cat People sequel.
Yeah, no shit.
So that was a reshoot that they added in after the film was basically finished.
Yeah, no shit. Because they realized if they didn't put a single fucking cat in the movie, everybody would be like, where the fuck was the cats?
Oh my god.
And oh, that's so infuriating. I hate fucking studios. They're so how come I never hear about studios that put out good things?
Oh, there's some that do good stuff every now
sure,
and then.
But like every story that I hear about studio changing things, it always makes it worse.
When Lucasfilm changed Rogue One, it was for the better. Originally, that was apparently unwatchable.
Oh, really?
They basically forced reshoots and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I do remember, like, there was a big thing with Rogue One, how it changed massively. That's true. And I love Rogue One. I think it's one of the better... In fact, it's the best Star Wars movie that we've had for the last 4 Star Wars movies. So
I reckon it's up there.
Solo 5.
Solo? That doesn't even count. That's not a Star Wars movie.
No, that's the thing. I forgot it was a Star Wars movie, so...
Yeah, like with studio meddling and stuff, I mean, I guess a lot of the time why we don't hear positive things about it is because when a studio meddles, it's purely for monetary reasons, so it's always bad.
Yeah, that's true.
It's only ever good if they're like, just like the new Spider-Verse, if they're like, you write the movie and then we'll make it, we won't change anything. And then the movie's really good. So, I don't know, maybe do that. Some more behind the scenes stuff as well. This movie was directed by a guy called Gunther von Fritsch, who had only ever done short movies.
Okay, yeah.
And he was like, I can do a big movie. And then he fell behind schedule, so he was fired, replaced by a guy called Robert Wise, who was going to be the editor. His first movie, and he went on, Zach, to direct West Side Story and The Sound of Music.
Oh. Well, he had a bit more successful career after this, I think.
Well, he had already edited Citizen Kane, so he was already well respected. But yeah, having his name behind this was pretty good. I mean, he directed the first Star Trek movie as well. So yeah, he went on to have a pretty big career. So I guess that's one good thing about this movie is that it started Robert Wise.
I mean, this movie isn't bad. You can tell it has that, I think, Sound of Music. I can definitely feel that vibe of sort of the wholesome family magical sort of movie, right? This is a good movie to go with your family to watch, right?
Yeah.
You take your son, you take your daughter, you go watch the cinemas, you enjoy a movie, you buy some popcorn, and you have a good family time. And this is a good movie for it.
Yeah.
Not for us. I wanted to see weird cat things, and I didn't see them, and I'm mad.
I mean, I enjoyed this. I think this is a good movie. Is it a good sequel to Cat People? No, but I think I can look past that a little bit more than you. And I don't know why. I think maybe...
Because you're more of a film bro, I think, and just enjoy...
Because I'm more of a movie bro. Yeah, I'm more of a movie bro. I think about movies intellectually and not in a nerd way.
I think you're more of a cinema connoisseur, whereas I just wanted to know more about the cat people. Why couldn't they have just made? Okay, I'm gonna get into spoilers if I keep talking. So we need to get into spoilers now.
Let's rate it and then get into spoilers. I like this. I'm giving it a goodie. It's on the low end of a goodie, but it's fine.
Oldie, I don't care if this movie's actually okay, which it is. I'm giving it an oldie out of pure spite.
Oh my goodness!
I'm mad. I'm angry, and the more I don't talk about my grievances, the more angry and spiteful I get.
Oh.
Maybe that's the old lady I'm possessing, but I'm getting more grouchy and angry. Maybe I'm turning into a panther.
Oh, wait, here's one quick thing that we can mention in non-spoilers. My first note is, oh my god, this movie stars Sir Lancelot. Because, old movies, they start with the credits and shit. And it was, starring all the actors from the first one, this actor, the kid actor, and Sir Lancelot. And I was like, is that the name of a cat that they're going to use in the movie? No, that was their butler, and he sings, and he was a popular singer.
Ah, nice. There you go.
He was really good in this film. I think all the acting's good. I think the kid is probably the best kid actor we've seen so far on the show.
Yeah.
But now let's tear the movie apart with spoilers.
Yeah.
The American West, a place where our character as a nation took shape, where dreams came true, where ambitions were shattered, and where legends were born. But above all, a place where ordinary people came looking for a new life and ended up doing extraordinary things. No one tells the story of the Old West better than author Rick Steber, and now there's a podcast dedicated to his stories and poems. It's called Writing the West, and in every 15-minute episode, you'll hear the stuff most history books left out, but that we can't afford to forget. If you want to hear the real stories of real people in the Old West brought to life, this is the podcast for you. Check it out on Spotify. That's Writing, W-R-I-T-I-N-G, The West. The stories and poetry of Rick Steber.
Where are the cat people?
Well, there is a cat person.
Is there?
There's a cat person in the movie, Zach.
Is
There's
there?
a cat person in the movie.
Tell me which character in this movie turns into a panther.
Well, okay, there are people in this movie who have they can turn into cat people, but they don't.
Can they?
So we've got the old lady.
Yes.
We've got Julia.
Yes.
And then she's got dementia. Her daughter, she's like, that's an imposter, right? Her daughter, Barbara.
Yep.
That daughter is the character in the first movie who says shit to Irina in, the honeymoon sequence.
Oh, right. right.
It's the same
yeah.
actor and the same character. So
Interesting.
but also, the movie was written as its own movie, and that wasn't meant to be the case. It's just the same actor, probably. But in my headcanon, that is the same person from the start of the movie who knew that Irina was a cat person.
Well, obviously, no. That definitely is the same person now that they've made it a sequel, right? If it's the same actor and this is a sequel, then it is the same character. Unfortunately, they don't change it enough. There is no cat people in this movie, and this is what's infuriating. They don't expand on the cat person story. They don't have a thing. And they quite easily could have.
Yep.
Here's my grievances. There's a lot of missed opportunity. The old lady, the mysterious old lady, and her daughter that she, doesn't acknowledge as her daughter. They quite easily could have been cat people, and they could have talked about cat people and just had that as, a background thing that doesn't affect the story at all.
Well, they are cat people, though. It's just they don't bring it up.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. If you just watched this portion of the movie, you wouldn't even know about cat people, though.
You could watch this movie as its own movie. It would make it wouldn't make that much sense as to why it's called Curse of the Cat People.
No.
If you watch this on its own,
because it doesn't have anything to do with cat people.
Exactly.
It doesn't talk about it. It doesn't think, and it doesn't matter for the film because it wasn't meant to be a sequel.
No, and with Irina as well, she shows up as a ghost.
Yes.
Is she a ghost?
Yes.
Is that the kid's imagination? Or one awesome thing that I just thought of when we started the show to make this a cat movie thing is Irina is a ghost to Amy. She can see Irina as a person, but everyone else perceives the ghost as a cat. Boom. Just fix the movie. Everyone else is like, oh, look at that black cat that kid's talking to. You know? That would be so much better. And then everyone's like, she's a witch.
Oh, right. Yeah. And then they burn her at the stake. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm down. Look, if they had done that, it would have been good.
It would have been better.
Fine.
Mm-hmm.
I would have been fine with the kid talking to a cat. Oh, that would have been cute as well, you know?
Yeah.
Kid talks to a cat, thinks the cat's a lady, and then they're like, oh, silly girl. And then it's like, oh yeah, this cat, her name's Irina. and then the fucking parents are like, holy shit.
Oh no, she tried to murder us at our workplace one time and then got mauled by a panther.
Yeah, holy shit.
Oh no.
And there's no reference to that. Also, the cat people are big negatives in the first movie.
Yeah.
They are evil.
Yeah.
That is what it is a curse. They are witches. They are evil. And that's the problem. The whole drama of the first movie is that Irina is possessed by this, cat demon. They're they literally talk about panthers being the, devil creatures of pure evil. In this movie, Irina's the good person. She's all good. And the cat people, the old lady, they're good people.
Yes.
I mean, sure, the daughter's a little bit evil, she goes to murder the kid, but in the end she doesn't, and she has the trouble with her mum, but they're not evil. No one in this film is evil.
Yes. But also, the first movie also had some nuance there that,
Yeah.
again, was a bit of a wasted potential, because it's you could have gone into how she used the power for good or whatever the fuck. Also, it's weird that, Oliver and Alice are not necessarily the good guys here, but they're fine. They're absolutely fine with everything that happened. They've just kind of blocked it out.
Well, I think they've moved on.
Yeah.
Is what's happened.
I mean, it's been 7-8 years.
Yeah, they've literally had a child and the child is growing up. I think they've just moved on from this traumatic event, which is fine. I think the parents' whole thing, although when he's like, oh yeah, she was a lady we used to know who died after murdering someone, felt the most contrived, oh yeah, we'll reference the other movie, but we won't go into specific because if we talk about cat people, people will wonder, what the fuck? Where's the fucking cat lore in this fucking movie? It was so easy. They just go to the weird old people and be like, oh yeah, they're like cat witches things, you know? You could have their whole thing of being yeah, we had to, go into hiding because people found out, but we're actually good people. We just have this, cat person curse, you know? I thought, I was so excited when the child went into the creepy old house and there's this lady who won't go out in the sunlight, right?
Yeah.
And it's oh shit, she's got some sort of curse. No, She's just like old and has dementia and doesn't like the sun.
Yeah, she's just some old actor lady.
She's just some old lady, and it's like, what? You could have made this so much cooler. You could have had this whole thing where she, like, is almost vampire-like, where she can't go in the sun and prefers, like, the dark and can turn into a panther, and then they teach Irina some, like, evil magic. Well, not evil, but, like, some magic stuff.
Well, that's what I was thinking. It would be like her and her daughter are, like, not necessarily like she's an original cat person, but she's, like, the cat person. She's the elderly cat person. She's the one who taught her daughter how to be a cat person. Because in that first movie, the cat person, the daughter, is trying to basically recruit Irina. Like, she's like, you gotta be a cat person too. Let's go fuck shit up.
Oh yeah. The kids literally call the old lady a witch.
Yeah, they do that as well. Like, they set up the fact that although it's also like it's the 40s, so calling an old woman a witch is just, that's just what kids did back then.
Yeah. Well, that's it. It was just like an insult. But like, and you could have had that moment where they're all in like church, right?
Yeah.
And the old lady's there, and the parents are like, "Oh, she's a nice old lady. She's just, that sort of thing. She's not actually a witch. The kids call her a witch, but she's not we don't believe she's a witch." But then the twist is, oh, she's actually a witch.
Well, I think that would be great, but she's like a nice witch and that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah, she's obviously a nice witch, and she, that sort of thing. That would have been great, and would have been cool and fanciful, and then the old lady could have explained while Irina... Even in this movie, we had the old lady talk about the Headless Horseman as a story. Why not just do a legend about the cat people?
I was thinking that.
Instead of some stupid fucking Headless Horseman bullshit, talk about cat people. But obviously, they filmed a lot of this before the studio was like, make this a sequel. So
I mean, I think it was written... I think the studio were like, yes, we'll let you make this script, but make it a cat people thing. So I think it was probably filmed with the intention of being a cat people movie, but all of the shit with the cats was added in like reshoots and stuff. But like,
it feels like they filmed a lot of this without the studio wanting them to make it a sequel, and then they had to make it a sequel.
They added it all. I mean, it's all the same cast, so I don't know. I feel like it might have been a little bit more on purpose. But also, like, yeah, the Sleepy Hollow stuff, I'm just like, why? Like, it's scary, and I like the scene where she's telling Amy the story. It's really well done.
Yeah.
There's a great scene where she has a nightmare about it as well, and, like, you hear the Headless Horseman riding towards her as she's, like, freaking out in bed. That was all great. But yeah, just have that be a story about cat people and, like, the king or whatever. Just the story from the first movie. Just put that in there.
Yeah, and then you have, like, the nightmare, and instead of a horse galloping to her, it's a panther.
Yeah!
Stalking her, and you hear growls. And like, "Rah!"
Exactly.
And then she wakes up like, ah! Oh, and have your child possessed by the cats. Have the whole, like, she's also got this cat curse. Which is why she seems more like Irene than her parents.
See, that wouldn't really make sense, though, right? Because she's not, like, her bloodline is not Serbian.
Yes, but here's how you explain it, right? The Irene's curse got transferred to them out of her, like, hate, like, anger and love and all that sort of thing. The consequences of them, like, betraying her love. Because remember, in the first movie, the dad's kind of a fuckboy who, like, marries this chick and is like, actually, you know what? I don't love you. Fuck you. I'm gonna marry this other person. Like, he's a bad person in that first movie.
Yeah, he is.
So I think the consequences of that is that their child gets hit with this cat curse. And obviously the child's not a bad person, and so the witch tries to help the child be like, here, I can help you deal with this cat curse, and it can actually be helpful. You can turn it into a panther, it's actually cool. Panthers aren't that bad, like that sort of thing.
And then we've got the cat lady from the first movie trying to kill the kid, because she's like, there can only be one cat person around here, right? So then they got to fight, and the old lady's got to help them.
Yeah, because killing the child is like, I'm going to be the heir to the witch's, like, magics, you can't be here. Yeah, you could have the whole thing, and then, Oh, but whenever the child turns into a panther, it's just a regular black cat.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, it's just like a regular black cat.
Yeah, that would have been cute.
But no, the movies, and like, I'm not saying that the movie, and I don't think you are either, that like the movie itself is bad. I liked the stuff about how, you know, she's got two quite neglectful parents, so she goes to imaginary friends instead, and the parents
does she?
having to like deal with that was really good, or does she?
That's the whole thing with these movies, is they have that, like, the story, and you can look at it in a practical sense that she made this all up sort of thing. Or you could believe in the magic.
Yes.
That she actually did meet Irene, this dead lady and stuff, you know?
Well, I mean, I think definitely the original version of this story, probably there was, like, the ghost is not real. Because at the end of the film, you know, we've got the old lady's daughter trying to kill Amy, which was so funny as well when she was like, I'm gonna kill that child. I was like, whoa!
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
But at the end of the movie, she's like, oh my god, this lady's gonna kill me. Help me, my imaginary friend. And then the lady turns into Irene, so she goes and hugs Irene, except it's actually the lady who's trying to kill her, and then the lady who's trying to kill her is like, oh, actually, I don't want to kill this 6-year-old child. Like, that's an ending that is like, okay, the imaginary friend was all in her head, right? That's what I think at least the original version of the movie would want you to think.
I disagree. I think the movie is properly vague. Like, it's deliberately vague, so you can interpret it as a literal, like, imaginary friend, or you can interpret it as, like, the spirits come to garden, because it can just be a ghost, like, being like, I'll protect this child, right?
That's what I'm saying, though. It's like, without the context of cat people, that would be a plausible explanation for what happened.
Yeah.
With the context of cat people, no, it's Irina's ghost. Like, it's a ghost. You can't really explain that away.
Oh, well, it can just be an imaginary friend. You can translate this movie as imaginary friend.
Oh, yeah, because she doesn't picture Irina until after she sees the photo as well, right?
Yeah, we don't see Irina till after the photo, so it's possible that the child just made this all up in her head.
What's some other points that we've got in this movie?
We had the children being dicks.
Yeah, there's a bunch of kids being really mean towards Amy. I liked when she's chasing a butterfly and the young boy's like, I'll catch the butterfly, and he like grabs it, obviously kills it. So she just full on slaps him. That was a good scene.
That's funny.
I enjoyed that.
That was good. That was good. The one where they like, you said you were going to invite us to your birthday, that sort of thing. They had this whole thing like, oh, we'll have a birthday without the kids. You could have just been like, oh, we'll do it next week.
No, for sure. They could have just said, well, because there's a sequence where it's Amy's birthday, and she was in charge of sending out the invitations, so she put it in a tree that her dad said was like a magic postbox tree. Oh, it's a magic postbox tree, and like her imagination is wild, so she's like, I'm gonna put it in the tree.
Yeah. Which is very silly and kind of the butler's fault, TBH. Because the butler's like, yeah, I'll give the letters to this child to go deliver, of course.
Yeah, the butler can like constantly like is like, nah, kid, even though your mum told you to tell me to go with you to that house, just go by yourself. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, butler? Like,
yeah, the butler's very irresponsible.
He is.
And no slack on him because he's a nice person.
Oh, he's a great actor. I really enjoyed his performance.
It does feel a bit awkward though, because this is the 1940s and he's black and they're white.
Yes, and he's the butler.
Yeah, and he's the butler, and it's like, oh, you know.
Yes.
It's just like, of course they gave the one black actor a servant role.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
But he's a great actor,
yes.
and he's really good in this.
He's really good.
And he does do a bit of singing as well at one point, and he was pretty good.
Yeah, he was known for like his stage performances and stuff as the character of Sir Lancelot. And yeah, like he lived until he was like 98. He died in like 2001. Like this guy.
Wow, what a legend.
He was around for a very long time.
And so, shenanigans ensue. She meets this old lady. There's this whole thing with a ring.
Yeah.
Where the old lady gives her a ring.
Yes.
And the overarching plot is this old lady's one of the plots is she gives this ring to a child because she believes her child died at 6. So she, is projecting her her like lost daughter onto this child. She's
Yes.
like, "Oh, I'll be friends with this child. I love you, this child." Meanwhile, her actual daughter is like, "Yo, what the fuck?
Yep.
Why won't you love me?"
Yeah. Now, this is a plot point that, I get, just like Cat People 1, they bring up a concept and then they don't deliver on it at all. Because
Yeah.
we don't get any explanation as to why she thinks this about her daughter, aside from she's probably just got dementia.
Yeah, dementia.
I feel like when they went through the reshoots and the rewrites and stuff, they maybe cut more of that story.
Yeah, they probably cut a bit more of the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this whole thing, and of course, then the daughter gets jealous and is like, "I'm gonna kill this child because my mother won't, give me love." And then in the end, she doesn't kill the child because the child hugs her, and she's like, "Oh, all I really wanted was, a bit of love."
I liked that. And then you've got Oliver and Alice from the first one are like, "We can't tell Amy the truth about Irina because we're not going to mention it," even though we've got her photos literally all over our house and they're very easy
Yeah.
to find.
They have a lot of photos of her.
They
Like,
do.
why do they still have a lot of photos of this dead lady? I mean, they probably feel guilty about it, so that makes sense. But
They would
yeah.
definitely be guilty. They probably got a little bit of PTSD from that time that they were cornered by a panther and almost killed.
Yeah.
Like,
what a fucking crazy moment where they literally had to deal with a demon panther woman. Too bad, this movie ignores that.
doesn't matter, actually. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And it does feel like they're playing different like Oliver, he feels like a different character. Alice feels like a different character.
Yeah, but they could they could just be like their parents now, so they've had to, change a bit.
Just a little bit older. That's all true.
They were just kind of generic parents. But like, what were they in the first movie, Sandro?
He was a fuckboy and she was purely there as a love triangle character. So they weren't really that fleshed out in the first one either.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, it's hard to say, other than he's not much of a fuckboy anymore. I mean, he is kind of like a bad dad, but he's actually really a good dad. He just like doesn't understand. Like in the end, he's like, "Oh yeah, I can see Irina too," that sort of thing.
Yeah, the end of the movie is like, her teacher is like, if you give her attention and believe in her imagination, then she'll start to see you as a friend and she'll stop seeing the imaginary friend. So that's what happens. He's like, "I can see your imaginary friend as well." And then Irina disappears into the mist, never to be seen again.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Except in she has to go to therapy because, of a traumatic childhood.
Yes.
Where she watched an old lady die.
Oh, yeah. So, in the scene where the daughter is trying to kill Amy, she's climbing up the stairs with Julia to try and hide, and then Julia just has a heart attack and dies randomly.
Yeah, big rip.
The acting for that heart attack was truly incredible. She's like, "Oh no,
Yeah.
I can't go on." Oh, goodbye, child.
Yeah.
It was like, okay.
This is very silly.
It was very silly.
It was very funny.
Some positives that I have for the movie, just like the first one, I think it's shot really well. All the scenes with Amy out in the garden and like Irina kind of standing near the tree, so good. Shot so well.
It was nice. Oh, I love that like Christmas present scene where the ghost gives a Christmas present to the child, and it's like, "Oh, it's a magical forest scene," and it's like, whoa, and like the forest then like lights up. That was very cool shot.
That was cool.
Where they had all this lighting and stuff. It was like, whoa, magical forest. That's cool.
I liked when Amy goes to the scary house for the first time. It's all shot from the perspective of a kid as well, so like the house is quite tall.
Yeah, low shots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes it very imposing.
And I really liked the scene where Amy goes to talk to a kid, and she's like, "Hi, Jack." And then Jack's like, "Nah," and just walks off.
Yeah, that kid, what a fucking player. He's like, "Nah, I'm fucking out."
I don't think I've got anything else to say about this movie.
Nope, I'm done as well. I want to talk about a sequel because, a remake, because we've already talked about remaking this film,
Yes.
and we can do a way better job to add more cat people. Just like the first thing, movie, we can add more lore about the cat people. Except this time, literally, we add anything.
Yes.
And we'll have more lore about cat people than this movie.
Add anything at all. I don't know. If you like the first movie, I like, it's an hour, so you're not wasting time. Just give it a watch, I guess. But also, don't expect this to be anything like the first film. And just like what we should do, probably watch the 80s one, because it's got a song by David Bowie and is apparently better. So I don't know, check that one out.
I mean, yes, because it probably involves any amount of cat people in it.
Well, won't someone tell me who let the dogs out? Hi, my name is Sally McSeller, and this is an ad. Why, over on patreon.com/oldie-but-a-goodie-pod, Sandro and Zach are doing some absolute ridiculous stuff right now. They're doing Nicolas Cage movies again. They did it last year, they're doing it again, and the second episode is up right now. It's on a movie called Redfield. Nicolas Cage isn't even the main character, but anyway, here's a clip from the episode.
But I thought it was being a bit silly with it, you know? There's, like, the one cop that's clearly corrupt, and the other cop, which is, like, they were all stereotype cops. Yeah, it was a fun comedy.
I don't know, it's like, yes, they're all stereotype one-dimensional, but then they try to have earnest moments, and I'm like, you haven't earned this.
Well, like, who was trying to earn it that didn't?
Aquafina and her sister. Everything there, I was like, I don't care. I don't care about your history. I don't care about your family. I just want some dumb action. Stop trying to make me care about this character.
That is an interesting point, because, yeah, I definitely think it was a weaker thing, but it was a motivation for the characters.
I don't think you need a motivation. Like, she's a cop. Just that's the motivation you need.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it added more stakes to the movie.
Wow, that sounds like there is comedy and there is also a bit of arguing about opinions. That's what I want to hear by heading over to patreon.com/oldie-but-a-goodie-pod, getting ad-free episodes and bonus content like the Cageorama #2. Go check it out. Yeehaw! But yeah, let's come up with a remake then. I don't think we need to recast this because it's the same cast as the first one.
That's true.
So we'd carry across Aubrey Plaza, we'd carry across Sebastian Stan, everyone that we recast in that first film.
Well, here's the thing, right? Here's what we'll do. We won't recast any of the old actors. We'll just recast the new ones in it, right?
We can do that.
So you've got the kid, you've got the old lady, you've got the butler, and you've got, like, the teacher.
We can do that, yeah.
That's, like, 4, I think.
And then also the daughter as well, who wants to kill the kid.
Well, she's from the first movie. But
we
didn't
didn't recast her in the first movie. We didn't recast her.
So yeah, we'll do her as well. There you go.
So, for our remake of Cat People, and if you haven't yet, go check out that episode.
It's a good episode.
It is a good episode. I finished editing it last night to date this podcast.
But yeah, I mean, I've already dated it twice already, so, I think it's fair if you date it.
But in that remake, we were like, okay, it's a crossover with Dr. Caligari, it's a prequel to Dr. Caligari.
Oh, yes, that's right. This is in the Dr. Caligari universe.
Yeah.
The, DCCU.
Yeah. Now, if you haven't heard that episode, this remake that we're probably going to make will make no sense. So go have a listen to our Cat People episode. I would recommend just doing that in general before having to listen to this episode.
See, because this is a sequel. What are you doing? You're listening to an episode about a sequel to a movie without listening to the first one? What are you doing? Go listen to the other one.
Maybe we do get a new director, because for the direction of that remake, I went for, like, pure 70s grindhouse gross horror that's like icky and disgusting. So maybe we do get a new director that's not someone.
Yeah, I think we will have to get a new director for this one, because this is going to be much like this one, where it's a more wholesome film.
Yeah.
Although I think this is like, we're going to make it more horror, right? We've
100%.
got this magical element that's evil. This is like almost an animated film, like The Little Toaster, right? It's a kid's film, but it's like got this horror element to it.
Yeah, no, it's a bit darker. It's like a monster house.
Yeah, Monster House. That's perfect. Yeah, this isn't animated, but Monster House is a perfect example of, like, this is a kid's film, but it's a scary kid's film.
It's a scary kid's film. So in the context of the first movie, to recap what we did in Cat People, Irina, she turns into a cat, and she murders Oliver and Alice.
Ooh.
We already said that she murdered them.
Yeah, well, we're not recasting them, so they could be dead in this film. Or
maybe Alice has a kid in the first movie.
Yeah, before she gets murdered or something. It's like so obviously we got to have this kid at, like, an orphanage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as all orphanages are, it's run by this old lady who's mean. And the kids don't like it's the same, it follows the same story, but instead of school kids, they're like orphan kids.
Yes, they're orphan kids. And there's like a scary old lady across the street, and that can be the witch character.
Yeah. And that would make more sense as to why this old lady's so interested in her as, like, a daughter replacement. It makes sense, because this kid is an orphan, so she needs a mum.
Just like you, young orphan. Just like you.
Orphan? Does that mean my mummy and daddy are fucking dead? Sorry for swearing, I know I'm a child.
Although, we could say Irene also died, and so this is like a...
Well, in our remake, Irene went to the Dr. Caligari's institute and then is in Dr. Caligari.
Yeah, so we could have this as the actual daughter of Irene. Instead of the daughter of those two things, it's actually the daughter of Irene, obviously, son of the bad dad sort of thing.
Yeah, I like that. They had a kid before he went with Al. Yeah, okay, yep, we'll do that. This is the orphan kid of Irene. She's seen the ghost of her mum, who is currently in Dr. Caligari's mental institution.
You could have it so that the mum's been, like, captured by Dr. Caligari or something, and she's, like, projecting a force ghost to try and communicate.
She's doing a force ghost, and then at the end we set up the Young Avengers or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm thinking of. She's like the Spider-Man of our DCCU, where she like learns that she has these cat powers by this old lady, and we learn about the curse of these cat people and how they can turn into panthers, but we can use that for good.
Exactly.
And then at the very end of the film, the old lady reveals, like, hey, I know where your mum is. I know that she's been captured, this sort of thing. Now that you've mastered your cat powers, we need to go and save her, right? And so the old lady in this film acts more as like a Yoda almost character, right?
That's why she dies before things get interesting.
Exactly. She has this whole thing. It's like we learn about these cat people, then she's like starts teaching her things, but the old lady, she's not really a cat person lady, she's a witch. She has these witch powers and she can do witch things. And maybe we have some like goons in this film.
Yes.
From Dr. Caligari, right? That want to capture this kid and bring her back. And so there's like a chase scene where the goons are like chasing after her, and so at one point she turns into the cute little cat.
Yeah, and then pounces on them all.
Oh, and then it's like, then these goons are chasing her, and people are like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, we're, cat capturers. We're looking for this stray cat. And we gotta capture her and take her to the pound, you know?
So we're gonna need a young child actor for the role of Amy. Oh, we could go for someone in Megan. That was a pretty fun horror film.
Oh, right, yeah, I haven't seen that one. Have you seen that one?
I saw it. It was pretty good.
Was it good?
It was a bit of fun. It was kind of like a B movie from the 80s. Oh yeah, the actor who plays the kid in Megan is 12. We could get her in. She's pretty good. She was really fun in Megan. Violet McGraw is her name. She was also in Black Widow. I think she might have been Natasha as a kid or something.
Yeah, she could do it, yeah.
She was one of the kids in Haunting of Hill House as well, so she's played a kid in a lot of horrors.
Yeah, and this is a sort of like a horror / superhero / origin story. But yeah, she could be a...
Oh my god, and you know what? The guy who directed Haunting of Hill House would be fucking great, because he does like really solid ghost stuff.
Yeah.
That's also really wholesome and has good character. we're getting Mike Flanagan in as the director, because he would be perfect for a movie in the same style as the original, but with a bit more scares.
Okay, all right.
So Violet McGraw as Amy, but we gotta cast the creepy old lady. Who's the creepy old lady? Who's a Yoda type? She can be a bit scary at first, but then a bit nicer as we get to know her.
I want Maggie Smith. That is my pick. Yeah, okay. A bit on the nose with the whole witch factor, right? Oh, we're having Professor McGonagall as a witch in our movie, lol. But, like, she could play a great, like, I'll teach you the ways of the Pantamagic. She doesn't have a daughter, right? She does have a daughter, but she's, like, disowned her because the other lady, even though they live together, like, they get along, but she's like, you use your pet magic for evil.
Yeah.
And I don't stand for that.
Hell yeah, that sounds good. Well then, for that younger lady, someone who's a bit scary could be scary. She was great in the new Evil Dead movie as the scary mother.
Ooh.
Elisa Sutherland, I think, would be pretty good. She's got a bit of a scary sort of vibe. Again, in that new Evil Dead movie, she was fucking amazing. Which we did review over on Patreon. Go check that episode out. Plug if you haven't yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she'd be great in this role because, you know, she's the Darth Vader almost of our story here, because you got the Yoda and then the Darth Vader. Yeah, and so she will be like the main villain in like the next sort of thing. She's going to be one of the villains, as she's the evil witch, and so yeah. But she's like, she still cares for her mother. She just wants the mother to love her, same sort of thing. Mm-hmm. But the mother won't love her. She instead loves this little child, and then of course she wants to murder the child, and then the old lady dies, and she's like, it's your fault.
Yeah,
you did all this. And instead of having a heartfelt, like, oh, they hug in the end and she doesn't want to, no, she tries to kill this child.
Fuck, yeah, exactly.
And then she has a, like, thing where she, like, looks like she dies, and she should have, like, she falls off a cliff or something, and it's like, oh, she died. But in the sequels, obviously, she lives.
Now, this is going to be a Mike Flanagan movie, so I think for the role of Edward, we should go for someone that is always in Mike Flanagan stuff. A bit of a funny character, gets along with kids well. I'm thinking Raoul Coley.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except, I don't think he's played the butler.
Okay. He could be the teacher.
Yeah, absolutely. He could be the teacher. We could even cut the whole butler role and just sort of combined it as, like, there's the teacher, or like caretaker, like student counselor sort of thing.
And just like in the first movie, we need to find a role for Danny DeVito to be Dr. Caligari in secret. So who is a character that Dr. Caligari can be pretending to be to spy on Irina's kid?
Oh, that's true. He could be like one of the neighbors or a caroler.
Oh, one of the carolers. Now, that's a good idea, yeah.
Absolutely. He pops in, and, like, the focus is on him when they have that, like, Christmas talking scene where they're talking, and he's like, hey, kid, how's it going? You know, that sort of thing, you know. Here, I got you a little something for Christmas.
He could also play the role of, like, I know that you remember in Curse of the Cat People. She's like, hey, Jack. And Jack's like, nah. He could be Jack. Danny DeVito was Jack.
Yeah. I was actually going to say he could be one of the orphans, just this adult man as an orphan. Absolutely. He could also play Jack.
All right.
As just one of the orphans.
Well, there we go. That's the sequel. That is our remake of Curse of the Cat People. And the whole review. What a short episode, but I mean...
it's a short movie, and unfortunately, it's not as interesting as I was hoping. You know what, Sandro? You were right. I made a mistake picking this movie. I apologize.
It's fine.
I promise I will never pick another terrible movie that's also a sequel of a movie we've done that's deliberately picked to just be terrible ever again.
What are you? Are you foreshadowing?
I had my fingers crossed.
Is this you saying that you're going to pick a Tarzan movie at some point? Is this what you're saying?
Look, we have to pick a Tarzan movie at some point. We've seen Tarzan every week. It's going to happen.
It's true. Well, maybe to make up for this short episode, I'll try and pick a long one for next week. But before I do that, if you like the show, bloody thank you. First of all, that's pretty cool. Thanks for liking the show, I guess.
Yeah.
If you want more of the show, well, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on bloody Gmail and YouTube. Oldie but a goodie pod. Send through your emails to oldiebutagoodiepod@gmail.com. Bloody say hi in the YouTube comments or harass us. Either way, I'll read it and it's engagement, so it helps us. If you want to review us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, that's also amazing. Thanks to everyone who does that, because it helps get the show out in front of brand new ears or brand new cat people. I kind of want our show to be for cat people, honestly. If you're a cat person, this show's for you.
Yeah, we're pro people who can turn into panthers when they're either horny or angry.
If you want more content from us, well, you've picked a hell of a time to want it, because I hated that, because over at patreon.com,
You've picked a hell of a time, because you can hop on down to our Patreon right now.
Yes.
We got some absolute fantastical bangers for you to listen to.
fan-diddly-tastic, just like out right now, it's the Cage-a-rama.
Cage-a-rama.
6 episodes of Nicolas Cage. The second one is out right now. It's a review of Renfield.
Oh, Redfield was so good. No spoilers, but go watch Redfield and then listen to the episode on Redfield.
Yeah, it's on streaming everywhere now.
You'll agree
so
with me.
You'll probably agree with Zach and not me. My opinions, though, were pretty based. I'll say that much.
Yeah, no, your opinions were very based. Your opinions were, yeah, you had some very good points.
I was just wrong. That's the thing. I was just wrong. They were based, but they were wrong.
That's what based is. They were based. Absolutely.
So all that is up on Patreon. The next one we're doing is Drive Angry, which I've got no idea what the fuck that's about, but he's got a weird haircut. So let's go.
I can't wait for a Fast and Furious parody.
But let's skedoodle out of here. I'm going to pick next week's movie, 1945.
Yeah, and you've got some interesting movie choices. I don't see anything particularly. You got Spellbound.
Spellbound. Is that a romantic drama?
I think so, but it's based in a mental hospital with like a doctor.
Oh, yeah, no, it's an Alfred Hitchcock film.
Yeah. It's got a bit of a whole like psychological thing where there's this guy pretending to be a doctor sort of thing in this thing. Yeah, you know.
Well, that would never happen in real life, and therefore I'm not picking it.
Wow. Is that how we're picking movies? Is that how you're picking?
Yes.
If it couldn't happen in real life?
Oh, we've got a musical comedy called Anchors Away with Frank Sinatra and Gene Kelly. Could be fun.
What about The Dead of Night? Which is about a guy who goes to a pilgrim's farm, but then when he gets there, he feels like he's been there before. He gets a bit of deja vu, and then when he meets all the people there, it feels like he's met them before in a dream.
Oh, deja vu dreamland.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
it's like a bunch of short stories. It's like an anthology horror film. That could be fun. But Zach, what I'm thinking is something a bit different. Because I see 2 movies here that are pretty good. Well, first of all, 3 movies. 3 Sherlock Holmes films were released in 1945.
Of course. In 1 year. Of course they were.
And I want to do one of them.
Oh, okay.
I really like the idea of doing Sherlock Holmes, but here's the thing, Zach. I saw something else that was released this year was an Agatha Christie movie.
Oh.
And then there were none, which, yes, is based off a book that's a little bit racist, but it is one of her best-known movies at the time. So I'm kind of thinking, and if you're down, maybe we do a little bit of a bonus battle.
A bonus battle?
Yes, a bonus battle between Sherlock Holmes mystery and an Agatha Christie mystery.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, we should absolutely do it. Yeah, comparing some master detectives against each other. Oh, I like that idea. I like that a lot.
The thing is picking which Sherlock Holmes movie there is. There's 3 of them. There's The House of Fear. There's The Woman in Green.
No.
And there's Pursuit to Algiers.
What?
One of them is an original storyline, so The Pursuit to Algiers is not based off a Sherlock Holmes short story, so I'm crossing that one off.
Yeah, cross that one off. That sounds dumb.
House of Fear looks like it could be fun. Woman in Green looks pretty good, actually. Like, the poster's really fucking cool. It seems like Woman in Green's kind of like a serial killer's on the loose.
Oh.
Moriarty's in it, which is always a plus.
Oh, we do love a bit of the Dom Moriarty conflict.
Moriarty is not in House of Fear, and you know what? If we're going to go for a true Sherlock Holmes movie, I think we've got to have Moriarty in the film.
That could be a deciding factor, absolutely. I'll go with that.
I reckon we do The Woman in Green as the one Sherlock Holmes film from this 12-movie-long series that was going in the 40s.
Sounds brilliant. All right, let's do it.
And then there were none versus The Woman in Green.
Whoa. Did you hear that? Oh my goodness. I think I heard someone in the background there. That was crazy.
Wild times. Quite frankly, wild times. All right, that's the episode. Zach, get out of that old lady's body. Let's just...
Alrighty then.
You know, the movie, it started off quite nonchalant. We reviewed a movie that was incredibly nonchalant, and I reckon we end with absolutely no jokes.
Okay.
The next 5 minutes of the podcast, listeners, is going to have no jokes.
All right, no jokes. Oh, I don't feel so good. What happened?
Oh, no, I'm sorry that you don't feel so good. Would you like an aspirin? Here's an aspirin.
Why are you giving me an aspirin?
Well, because you don't feel so good, and therefore I give you an aspirin, and maybe it helps you feel good. In fact, here's some paracetamol as well.
I don't know what any of this means.
They're drugs, god damn it!
Yeah, I understand what a drug... I can see that they're pills.
Yes.
I understand that. I just don't... why would I accept strange medicine from a person I just met who tried to kick me out of a coffee shop? I don't...
I didn't actually try to kick you out of the coffee shop. I tried to kick you out of your own body so that my friend could go inside it. Oh, that sounds weird, actually. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, that sounds weird. I don't like... Again, I don't see why I would accept these strange pills from someone I just met. Like,
I saw your movie, The Curse of the Cat People, and not many people did, so I'm sure that...
well, if it's from a fan...
Yay, have those aspirin... Oh, wait. I'm from the future, and that paracetamol has about 10 more milligrams of drug in it than there used to in the 40s.
What would that mean? What is the consequences of that?
You'd feel more high.
'Cause fuck yeah, I do. Woo!
Oh my god, she's running around.
I'm high on drugs. See you later, bitches.
Oh my god. Well, there she goes.
Wow!
Oh, dear me, orphan. What a wild time this has been.
Would you like a loaf of bread or an apple?
Oh, why, yes, I would like a loaf of bread or an apple. Thank you very much, orphan. That's so wonderful of you. Well, I'm going to eat this loaf of bread. I just had a sandwich, but it's tiring being a podcaster.
Well, fuck this plate in particular.
Oh, no. Oh, she smashed the plate.
Here's another one. Fuck
no.
you.
Oh, no, it hit me in the head. Ouchie wouchies.